Hello, this is Audrey Weidman, and today you're in for a special treat. I have my Transcendental meditation instructor, Laurina Carroll, here, and just thought I'd tell you a little bit about why I am interested in this and why I began this is because a friend of mine who's also a nurse and works in cardiac care was saying that this technique is endorsed by the American Medical Association. And I had been trying various meditation techniques. I know it's a really great way to kind of chill out, and that's one of the things I know I need to do. But I thought I would introduce you to Laurina, and she can tell you a little bit more. So I'm going to move the camera over here.
Thank you so much, Audrey, for having me here. I do love to talk about Transcendental meditation. It's basically, I'll just tell you a little bit about it in general, and then we can talk about, it in relationship to heart disease. So Transcendental meditation is a very simple and effortless mental technique. And you do it 20 minutes in the morning, before breakfast, before coffee, kind of a great way to start your day. And then sometime you take another 20 minutes throughout the day. You're just sitting comfortably in a chair, eyes closed. You're not chanting anything out loud, just very quiet. And what this has been proven to do is to reduce cortisol, which is the major stress hormone. We know cortisol. Every nurse and doctor will tell you it can wreak havoc on our health if the levels are too high. Chances are, if you have high cortisol, that you are going to have, high anxiety, high blood pressure. You might even have, some depression. So this is why it's so important to have, this in your life, twice a day. And of course, as you mentioned, the American Heart Association came out with a statement saying that Transcendental meditation is the only non-pharmaceutical approach that they will endorse for lowering blood pressure. And this is huge. They've compared Transcendental meditation to mindfulness, to focus-based meditations. And they said that the other meditation techniques do not come in the same category in terms of the lowering of the blood pressure. And we see also, like I mentioned before, cortisol levels are not lowered in other techniques as dramatically as TM and anxiety and on like that.
Yeah, that's really powerful because I know I was looking for a technique that I could use myself where, let me switch this back here. I know I was trying to find a technique and a tool to empower myself. I don't want to be reliant on medication if I don't have to. And so I'm trying to find the tools to help myself, but I also want you to become aware of this because it took me a while for me to find all these resources, and that's why I want to share them with you. Now, if you could tell us a little bit about what TM is, like, is it religious or what is sort of the process?
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's completely not religious, which is very comforting to people. People of all religious backgrounds do it. You don't have to be religious to do it, but if you are religious, you can do it. It doesn't go against your religion. It's a stress management technique, and that's what I'm saying. You're just sitting comfortably twice a day doing it. No change in lifestyle, no change in diet, no philosophy. You're not going to get any textbooks. You're going to get a technique. It takes 4 hours, an hour a day for 4 consecutive days to actually learn. But there's no involvement in any, it's not a religion. It's for people of all walks of life, all different backgrounds. So it's really a stress management technique. And before I forget that one point, is that often health insurance companies, they don't pay for the technique, but if you have flex savings or health savings, they may help to pay for your technique. And you can also use it as a write-off on your taxes as a stress management technique for those that are maybe small business owners, or if you own a large corporation, you can roll it out to the whole company, and there's usually, a kickback from, the health savings or flex savings. And we also have an affiliate program where doctors are recommending the technique to give it at a reduced rate. So that's something that you may want to check into. If you contact your local TM center, then you can find out through them, does my flex savings or health savings pay for it? Because we can just run your card or however you want to run it. But also you can get a discount if, like your nurse practitioner in Flossmoor, somebody like her would be able to give them a discount on it.
Right, and it is kind of more expensive than you might think. However, I've already been in for 2 checkups. It's a lifelong program program that anytime, anywhere, and they are throughout the world, you can go in and get checked and participate in retreats and things like that, which is really great. And you know what? When you're first starting out, you will want to get checked because you don't want to build up a habit of doing something incorrectly. So it's really great, and there's something about Laurina where it's like I become compliant and I just relax in her presence, so it's very nice. But the other thing I was going to ask you is, how is it different than maybe other meditation techniques?
Sure,
You were talking
sure.
about mindfulness and
Yes, and focus-based. Yeah,
right.
the two most common forms of meditation are focus-based or mindfulness. And focus-based meditations, many of you probably did them if you went to a yoga studio. They'll ask you to maybe focus on a thought, a mantra, a word, but to push thoughts out. Now that keeps the mind engaged. There's no relaxation. And when we look at the research, there's no reduction of anxiety, there's no reduction of blood pressure. So they're not really effective. Mindfulness meditation, the scientific research behind it has shown that it does reduce anxiety, but minimally compared to TM. And mindfulness does not lower blood pressure. There's no research that shows that. And I don't think that any future research will as well, because if they were already showing signs of lowering blood pressure, we would have seen that in the research, because usually it's something that you can tell just within a few weeks. It takes maybe 2 to 3 months before you see dramatic changes in the blood pressure, but we had a medical doctor, he's an oncologist, he works on the south side, a very stressful job. He's young, he's in his 40s, but had high blood pressure, didn't want to go on medications, and started TM. Within a few weeks, he emailed me and said, I'm doing great, I'm off my blood pressure medication. And some people don't even have to go on it. If they catch it early enough, we've had people that were borderline, the doctor said, you're kind of in a dangerous state, watch it, within a few weeks, I want you on medication. As soon as they learned TM, numbers dropped, they didn't have to go on the medication. So yeah, very good thing about the about blood pressure. So those are the main differences. Those are the three major, and TM is effortless transcending, where you just have a mantra and the procedure of how to use it, and it's relaxing to the mind. And when the mind gets relaxed, the body gets relaxed, and scientists have said it's a state of restful alertness. The mind is awake but completely relaxed, and that's where you have all the changes in blood pressure and anxiety and depression, even insulin resistance. And another very important thing is plaque buildup on the carotid artery, since we are talking about mainly the effects of TM on heart disease. And we see in studies that people that have been meditating regularly compared to those that have not, the plaque buildup is greater on those not practicing TM. And they've actually done these studies on people that have already had heart attacks, already have heart disease, have severe plaque buildup on the carotid artery. They didn't just take a random person that maybe was young and just started to have a little plaque buildup. They took people that had really bona fide, very serious heart disease issues. And we have longitudinal studies which actually show that over time the mortality rate is lower, because you can imagine TM actually reduces one's chance of heart disease, stroke, and cancer by 60%. So in terms of mortality
Say that
rate,
again. Say that again.
Yes, I know.
Slowly.
TM, Transcendental Meditation, reduces one's chance of heart disease, stroke, and cancer by about 50 to 60%.
Right.
Yes. And so when we think about the longitudinal studies, we have scientific research. So we have 700 research studies. This is not, and they've been done at Harvard, Stanford, Yale, UCLA, just so, we're not trying to brag or anything, but we want you to feel like this is a reputable, organization. And they've been published in major journals, Journal of Cardiology, Journal of Psychology.
Right.
And doctors that don't meditate have to review the research, and it's important for them to look at it. They actually sometimes do, look at the research twice. They'll review it, and then they're like, oh no, that can't be possible. It's just too good to be true. And so they really are very thorough before they'll put it in a medical journal, because they don't want to appear that they're incompetent. So they really look at the research with a lot of rigor. But these longitudinal studies on heart disease to show that those practicing TM regularly compared to the non-meditating counterparts are actually living longer than those not meditating regularly. So that is huge. And again, these are people that already had heart disease and then started TM practice.
Right. That was kind of one of the things I wanted to look for is if I was going to invest both in myself and actually spend money, I wanted it to be really credentialed. And here locally in Chicago, the Stritch College of Medicine at Loyola, actually all the incoming students are now, it's part of the curriculum. So if you're looking for a holistic, non-drug related way to manage your heart disease, and it sounds like not just blood pressure, but possibly even like getting off some of the statins by reducing the plaque in your arteries, this is the way to go. And I want you to look down on the links below, and you can learn more about TM and learn more about Laurina. Anything else that you wanted to suggest? Or
No, I mean, I just want to thank you for listening to this segment, and I think if you or anybody else does have heart disease, or you feel like you have some precursors to heart disease, then definitely check it out. We do have free introductory presentations where you can actually learn more about the technique in person, and if you just go to the website and put in your zip code, you can get the name of your local teacher. I'm teaching mainly in the Chicago suburbs area, so we have Orland Park and Oak Brook Terrace, Arlington Heights, Northfield, Naperville. Those are the locations that I serve. But we also have a center in Evanston, a center downtown. So just put your zip code in. You can go to an introductory presentation, and then after that, you can make the decision for yourself. But I think, even in talking with your doctor, most doctors are recommending it. I think you're going to find that it will be and it's very easy to do. That's the main thing. I know if you've done other meditations, don't think, well, I've tried it, it's not for me. If you've tried other meditations and they didn't work, I promise you that TM will work. We haven't had anybody say, oh, I tried TM and it didn't work. If people do it, you just have to do it. And if you do it regularly, it will work. So that's the other thing. Even if you're skeptical, or even if you feel like other meditation techniques have not worked, TM is simple and it works for everybody, no matter how active your mind is.
yeah, and I'm one active mind. And I'm sleeping better, and I'm just I'm rolling with things a lot better than I used to. So I would highly recommend it. All right, thanks so much. Bye-bye.